Welcome, dear listener. Let yourself settle into this moment. There's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. Just rest here, as we explore some ancient wisdom together, wisdom that has comforted minds for thousands of years. Tonight, we begin with thoughts about awakening, about how we see the world, and how gently we might shift our perspective to find more peace. Our first reflection comes from Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who wrote his meditations by candlelight, never intending for anyone else to read them. He wrote simply, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive." Such a simple thought. And yet, how often do we forget? Each morning is a gift we didn't earn, a continuation we cannot guarantee. The breath in your lungs right now, the quiet of this moment, the very fact that you exist to hear these words. Marcus reminds us that before we think of our problems or our plans, we might first pause in wonder at the extraordinary fact of being here at all. There's a tenderness in this, a gentleness. It asks nothing of us except to notice, to appreciate, to begin the day not with worry, but with gratitude for the gift of beginning at all. And this brings us to another of Marcus's reflections. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Everything flows. Everything shifts. The river of existence never stops moving, and we are part of that current. But within this constant change, we have something remarkable. We have our thoughts. We have the quiet space of our own minds where we can choose how to meet the world. Two people can face the same rainy day. One sees gloom, another sees nourishment for the earth. The rain hasn't changed, but the life each person experiences, that comes from within. Marcus understood that while we cannot control the universe, we can gently guide our thoughts, and in doing so, we shape the very texture of our existence. Marcus offers us yet another gift of perspective. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Let this wisdom soften you. How much of what troubles us comes from taking things as absolute, as fixed, as certainly true? Someone speaks harshly, and we believe we know what it means. We see a situation unfold, and we're certain we understand it completely. But Marcus whispers a different possibility. What if everything we encounter is filtered through countless lenses? What if the harsh words come from someone's pain we cannot see? What if the situation we judge so quickly has dimensions we haven't imagined? This isn't about doubting everything. It's about holding things more lightly. It's about leaving room for mystery, for nuance, for the possibility that we might not have the full picture. And in that spaciousness, there is such peace. Epictetus, who began his life as a slave and became one of history's wisest teachers, understood this deeply. He said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Think of something that worried you recently. Was it the thing itself that caused your suffering? Or was it your thoughts about what it meant, about what might happen, about what it said about you? A delay is just a delay. But our opinion might make it a catastrophe. A mistake is just a mistake. But our opinion might make it evidence of our unworthiness. Epictetus invites us to look more carefully at where our disturbance truly lives. And when we do, we often find that the thing itself is neutral. It's our story about it that carries the weight. He says it another way too, equally gentle in its truth. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions which they form concerning things. Notice how he comes back to this wisdom. How he wants us to really understand. We suffer so often, not from reality, but from our interpretation of reality. And unlike reality itself, which we cannot always control, our interpretations can soften. They can shift. They can become more kind. What if, right now, you could release one harsh opinion you hold about yourself, about someone else, about your life? What if you could simply set it down, like putting down a heavy stone you've been carrying? The thing itself doesn't change. But oh, how much lighter you might feel. And Marcus Aurelius, in his infinite wisdom, makes this practical for us. He says, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. How often do we take a small moment and transform it into a story of disaster? A look from someone becomes evidence they dislike us. A physical sensation becomes a sign of serious illness. A quiet evening becomes proof of our loneliness. But Marcus reminds us, we don't have to do this. We can simply let things be what they are. Small, passing, neutral. We can notice without dramatizing. We can observe without spinning tales of catastrophe. We can choose not to turn every ripple into a wave. This is such a peaceful way to move through life. To let most things remain small. To save our emotional energy for what truly matters. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, Marcus tells us. Not upon your circumstances. Not upon how much you have or how much you've achieved. Not upon whether others approve of you or whether your plans unfold perfectly. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This is perhaps the most empowering wisdom we could receive. Because while so much is outside our control, our thoughts, the way we speak to ourselves, the lens through which we view our days, this is ours to tend. Like a garden we can cultivate. And when we fill our minds with gentleness, with perspective, with gratitude, with acceptance, happiness becomes not something we chase, but something that naturally flows from the quality of our inner world. Marcus continues this thread with beautiful simplicity. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself. In a world that constantly tells us we need more achievement, more possessions, more validation, more of everything, what a relief to hear this ancient truth. Very little is needed. Perhaps just this breath. This moment of rest. This quiet awareness. The source of happiness isn't out there, somewhere you haven't reached yet. It's not waiting for you after the next accomplishment or the next purchase. It's here, within, available now, as available as it will ever be. And he says it even more directly. You don't need much to live happily. Character limit here, ***. Let this wisdom settle over you like a soft blanket. You don't need much. Perhaps you already have everything you truly need. Perhaps happiness isn't about addition, but about subtraction, removing the false beliefs about what you lack, clearing away the unnecessary complications, simplifying down to what's real and true and here. You, breathing, alive, aware, capable of thought, of choice, of gentleness toward yourself. What if that's already enough? And we end this first journey with Zeno, the founder of Stoicism itself, who said simply, happiness is a good flow of life. Not a destination. Not a peak experience. Not a permanent state of ecstatic joy. Just a good flow. Like a river moving smoothly around obstacles. Like a life lived in harmony with what is. Like thoughts that bend instead of break. Like a heart that remains open even when things are difficult. Happiness is in the flowing, in the accepting, in the gentle movement through our days, wherever they lead us. And that flow is available to you, right now, as you rest here, as your breath flows in and out, as you let these ancient words remind you of the peace that's always been within you. Rest now, dear listener. Let these thoughts settle. There's nothing you need to hold on to, nothing you need to remember. Just let the wisdom wash over you like gentle waves, and drift, peacefully, into sleep. We continue our gentle journey through Stoic wisdom, and now we turn to perhaps the most liberating truth the Stoics discovered. The truth about control, and the profound freedom that comes from understanding what is truly ours. Let yourself sink deeper into rest as we explore these quiet revelations together. Marcus Aurelius offers us this foundation. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Breathe with this truth for a moment. So much of our suffering comes from trying to control what cannot be controlled. The weather, other people's choices, the past, the future, the countless forces of the universe that move according to their own nature, not our wishes. But your mind, your mind is different. This is your domain. This is where your true power lives. Not power over the world, but something far more valuable. Power over how you meet the world. Power over the thoughts you choose to nurture. Power over the meaning you assign to your experiences. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending difficult things aren't difficult. It's about understanding where your energy can truly make a difference. And when you stop exhausting yourself trying to control the uncontrollable, you discover you have so much more capacity to tend to what actually matters. Your own inner landscape. Marcus expands on this with gentle clarity. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself. Consider this carefully. The thing itself is simply what it is. A circumstance. An event. A moment in time. It arrives neutral, without inherent meaning. What happens next, the distress you feel, this doesn't come from the event. It comes from within you, from your interpretation, from your resistance, from the story you tell about what this means. This is not to dismiss your pain. Your feelings are real and valid, but understanding their source is everything. Because if the pain comes from your interpretation, then healing can come from shifting that interpretation. You're not powerless. You're not at the mercy of external events. You have a choice in how you hold what happens to you. Epictetus, with his profound understanding of freedom, takes this further. Another person will not hurt you without your cooperation. At first, this might sound harsh, but listen to the liberation in these words. Someone speaks unkindly. They form an opinion of you. They act in ways you wish they wouldn't. These are their actions, their choices, their burdens to carry. But whether these things hurt you, whether they disturb your peace, whether they diminish your sense of worth, this requires something from you. It requires you to believe their words define you. It requires you to accept their judgment as truth. It requires you to give them power over your inner world. And what if you didn't? What if you could witness their actions with compassion for their struggle, but without letting it shake your foundation? This is not about being cold or uncaring. It's about understanding that your peace is too precious to hand over to anyone else. Marcus says it even more directly. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Such simple words. Such profound power. You can choose. Not whether difficult things happen, that's beyond your control. But you can choose whether to interpret them as harm. You can choose whether to let them wound you. Someone disappoints you, and you can choose to see a failure in them, or you can simply notice that people are imperfect, that everyone is doing their best with what they have. A plan falls through, and you can choose to see catastrophe, or you can see redirection, possibility, an opening for something new. Choose not to be harmed. Not by denying reality, but by refusing to add suffering to pain, by refusing to make every difficulty a disaster, by holding your experiences with a lighter touch. And this brings us to what Epictetus considered paramount. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Not the freedom to do whatever you want. Not freedom from responsibility or difficulty. But inner freedom. Freedom from being controlled by external events. Freedom from being at the mercy of other people's opinions. Freedom from your own destructive patterns of thought. This is the freedom that no one can take from you. You might be constrained by circumstances, by obligations, by the realities of your situation. But internally, in the quiet sovereignty of your own mind, you can be completely free. Free to choose your response. Free to maintain your peace. Free to remain true to yourself. This is the only freedom that truly matters, because it's the only freedom that's entirely yours to claim. Epictetus offers us practical wisdom for this freedom. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters. To separate what? To distinguish between what's in your control and what isn't. This simple discernment is the key to everything. Your efforts, your intentions, your thoughts, your responses, these are yours. The results, other people's reactions, the way things unfold, these are not. When you blur this line, you suffer. You take responsibility for things you cannot control, and you feel like a failure when they don't go as you hoped. Or you neglect your real responsibility, the tending of your own mind and character, because you're so busy trying to control everything else. But when you see clearly, when you separate what's yours from what isn't, life becomes simpler. Your duty becomes clear. Your energy finds its proper focus. And from this clarity comes another gem of wisdom. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. This is how to live. Fully engaged with what you can influence. Your choices. Your effort. Your kindness. Your integrity. Pour yourself into these things. Let them be excellent. And everything else, take it as it happens. Not with passive resignation, but with active acceptance. With trust. With the understanding that some things are simply beyond your reach, and that's okay. That's how it should be. You're not meant to control the universe. You're meant to tend your small part of it well, and let the rest unfold as it will. There's such peace in this. Such relief. You can finally stop carrying burdens that were never yours to carry. Epictetus reminds us why this matters. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Think about this. Every time you stake your happiness on something external, you give away your power. If your peace depends on the weather being nice, you're at the mercy of the weather. If your worth depends on other people's approval, you're at the mercy of their judgments. If your contentment depends on circumstances being just right, you'll rarely be content, because circumstances are constantly changing. But when you value what's within your control, when your happiness comes from your own character, your own choices, your own inner state, then you're truly powerful. Not power over others, but power over yourself. Not control of outcomes, but sovereignty over your own experience. This is freedom. This is peace. This is the life the Stoics invite us to live. Cleanthes, another ancient Stoic teacher, offers us a beautiful image. The willing are led by fate, the reluctant are dragged. Life will unfold as it unfolds. Events will happen. Changes will come. This is the nature of existence. You can walk willingly with this reality, accepting each moment as it arrives, finding meaning and peace even in difficulty. Or you can resist, digging in your heels, insisting things should be different, and exhausting yourself in the struggle. Either way, life continues. Either way, what happens happens. The only difference is whether you flow with it or fight against it. Whether you're led gently or dragged painfully. And here's the beautiful secret. When you stop fighting, when you let yourself be led, you often find that the path is better than you imagined. That what seemed like disaster was redirection. That what you resisted was actually exactly what you needed. We close this reflection with Marcus's profound trust. That every event is the right one. Look closely and you'll see. This doesn't mean everything is pleasant. It doesn't mean bad things don't happen. But what if, in some larger sense, everything that happens is part of a pattern you can't quite see? What if every difficulty is shaping you? What if every disappointment is protecting you from something worse? What if every unexpected turn is leading you somewhere you need to go? Look closely and you'll see. Maybe not immediately. Maybe not for years. But if you look at your life with eyes of wisdom, you can often trace how the hardest moments led to growth. How the closed doors opened better ones. How the things you thought were wrong were, in some mysterious way, exactly right. And even if you can't see it yet, what if you could trust it? What if you could meet each moment, no matter how challenging, with the quiet faith that it's the right moment? That it's here for a reason? That you're exactly where you need to be? Rest now in this deep trust. Let go of control. Let go of resistance. You are held by something larger than yourself. And in this surrender, you might just find the freedom you've been seeking all along. Let these truths settle softly into your awareness as you drift towards sleep. There's nothing to figure out. Nothing to fix. Just rest in the wisdom that you have everything you need, right here, right now, within yourself. We turn now to something that touches all of us. The anxious mind. The worried heart. The imagination that conjures suffering where none yet exists. The Stoics understood this territory well, and their wisdom here is particularly tender, particularly freeing. Settle deeper now, and let's explore together how to quiet the fearful mind. Seneca, the great Roman philosopher and playwright, gives us perhaps the most comforting truth we could hear. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Consider how true this is in your own life. How many things have you worried about that never happened? How many disasters have you lived through in your mind, vividly, painfully, only to find that reality was far gentler? How many nights have you lost sleep over futures that never came to be? The present moment is almost always bearable. It's the moments we imagine, the futures we project, the catastrophes we rehearse endlessly in our minds. These are what torment us. And they're all happening in imagination. Not in reality. In the theater of your own thoughts. What if you could recognize this? What if, when anxiety rises, you could gently ask yourself, am I suffering from something real right now? Or am I suffering from something I'm imagining? And if it's imagination, what if you could let it go, just for now, and return to this moment, which is almost always more peaceful than the futures you've been creating? Seneca says this another way, with equal gentleness. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Life will bring real challenges, real pain, real difficulties. These will come in their time. And when they do, you'll meet them. You'll find strength you didn't know you had. You'll discover resources within yourself. You'll cope, as humans have always coped. But to suffer them before they arrive? To live through them again and again in anticipation? To carry tomorrow's troubles into today? This is unnecessary suffering. This is pain you're choosing, even if it doesn't feel like a choice. Seneca invites you to put down tomorrow's burdens. They're not yours yet. They may never be yours. And even if they come, you'll pick them up then. For now, this moment, you can be free of them. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Never let the future disturb you, he tells us. The future doesn't exist. Not yet. It's a story, a possibility, a collection of maybes and might-bes. And while it's wise to plan, to prepare, to move thoughtfully toward what's coming, it's not wise to let the future steal your peace. Because here's the truth, whatever comes, you'll meet it from the present moment. You won't meet it from this worried state you're in now. You'll meet it fresh, in that moment, with whatever wisdom and strength that moment provides. So worrying now doesn't help you then. It only hurts you now. The future will arrive in its own time, and it will arrive as the present. The only moment you ever actually live in. So don't let imagined futures disturb you. Stay here. Stay now. This is where your life actually is. Seneca paints a poignant picture of how we lose ourselves to this anxiety. They lose the day in expectation of the night. Have you done this? Spent a beautiful morning worrying about the evening? Spent a peaceful moment dreading what comes next? Lost the precious gift of now because you were already living in a future that hasn't happened? This is how life slips through our fingers. Not because it's stolen from us, but because we're not actually present for it. We're too busy anticipating, preparing, worrying, imagining. And the day we have, the only day that's real, passes unlived. What if you could stop this? What if you could fully inhabit today, without letting the shadow of tomorrow darken it? What if each moment could be experienced for itself, not as a prelude to whatever you're dreading or anticipating? And Seneca offers us the antidote, simple and clear. True happiness is to enjoy the present. Not to enjoy some perfect future you're working toward. Not to recapture some perfect past you remember. But to enjoy this moment, this breath, this quiet space, this small, ordinary, precious now. True happiness is always here, in the present, waiting for you to notice it. It's in the warmth of sunlight, the taste of water, the sound of your own breathing, the simple fact of being alive. But you have to be present to receive it. You have to stop visiting the future long enough to inhabit where you actually are. Marcus Aurelius discovered something profound in his own journey. "Today I escaped from anxiety," he wrote. Or no, he corrected himself, it was within me. Anxiety doesn't come from outside. It's not imposed on you by circumstances. It lives within you, in your thoughts, in your imagination, in your interpretations. And because it's within you, escape is possible. Not escape from external circumstances, but escape from the internal patterns that create anxiety. This is such empowering wisdom. You don't need the world to change to be free from anxiety. You need your relationship to the world to change. You need to see clearly where anxiety actually lives, and realize that you have the power to let it go, because it was yours all along. Marcus offers another shift in perspective that can free us. How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything. We live in a universe of constant change. A world where anything can happen. Where plans fall through, where people disappoint us, where circumstances shift unexpectedly. And yet, we act surprised. We act as if things should always go according to our expectations. But what if you expected things to be unpredictable? What if you expected change, challenge, surprise? Then nothing could shock you. Nothing could shake you. Everything would simply be life, unfolding as life does, with all its beautiful messiness. This isn't cynicism. It's radical acceptance. It's understanding the nature of reality and meeting it with open eyes. And in that acceptance, there's no room for the anxious surprise that so often destabilizes us. Seneca turns to the root of our fears. Ignorance is the cause of fear, he tells us. We fear what we don't understand. We fear the unknown. We fear the stories we've made up about what might happen, because we don't actually know what will happen. Fear thrives in darkness, in the gaps of our understanding, in the spaces where imagination runs wild. But knowledge brings light. Understanding brings peace. When you look clearly at what you fear, when you examine it, question it, understand it, so often the fear diminishes. You see that it's not as big as you thought, not as certain, not as catastrophic. And even when real danger exists, understanding it gives you power. Ignorance leaves you paralyzed. Knowledge lets you prepare, adapt, respond. So fear is often just a sign that you need more clarity, more truth, more honest looking at what is. Seneca speaks particularly about our fear of death. He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man. When we're consumed by fear, especially the ultimate fear of death, we become small. We avoid. We hesitate. We play it safe. We never fully live because we're so busy trying not to die. But life requires risk. Love requires vulnerability. Growth requires uncertainty. Meaning requires that we step into the unknown. And if we let fear stop us, we're already dead in the ways that matter most. We're breathing, but not living. Existing, but not experiencing. Protected, but not present. Seneca invites us to let go of this fear, not by pretending death doesn't exist, but by recognizing that fearing it diminishes the life we have. What if you could live as if you weren't afraid? What might become possible? Marcus Aurelius completes this reflection beautifully. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. The tragedy isn't that life ends. The tragedy is a life spent preparing to live, planning to live, waiting for the right moment to live, but never actually living. A life spent in anxiety about the future, in regret about the past, in fear of what might happen, but never fully present, never fully engaged, never fully here. You are alive right now. This moment is your life. Not a rehearsal. Not a preparation. This is it. And the greatest waste would be to let fear keep you from experiencing it fully, from loving fully, from being fully yourself, from embracing the beautiful, uncertain, temporary gift of being here at all. So let the fears go, as much as you can. Let the anxious imaginings dissolve. Come back to this moment, which is almost always more peaceful than your thoughts about it. Come back to this breath, this quiet, this now. You are safe in this moment. You are here. You are alive. And that is enough. That is everything. Rest now in this truth. Let go of the future you've been worrying about. Let go of the fears you've been carrying. Just be here, breathing, peaceful, present. There's nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you need to do. Just rest, and let sleep come softly, gently, like a friend you've been waiting for. We arrive now at one of the most challenging territories of the human heart. Anger. Strong emotion. The moments when we feel overtaken by feelings we didn't choose and can't seem to control. The Stoics explored this landscape with great care, and their insights can help us find peace even in the stormiest internal weather. Let yourself relax even more deeply as we explore these gentle truths together. Marcus Aurelius offers us a penetrating question. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the things that provoked it? Think about a time you were angry. Perhaps someone cut you off in traffic, or said something unkind, or failed to meet your expectations. The original offense, was it really that significant? Did it truly harm you in a lasting way? Or was it small, momentary, already past? And then consider the anger itself. How it burned through you. How it consumed your peace. How it led you to say or do things you regretted. How it poisoned your mood, affected those around you, lingered far longer than the initial offense. The anger hurt you more than the thing that sparked it. Almost always, this is true. The wound was small, but the anger made it large. The moment was brief, but the anger made it endless. Marcus invites you to see this clearly, and in seeing it, to ask whether anger is ever worth its cost. Epictetus takes this understanding even deeper. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. What powerful words! When someone can disturb your peace with their actions or words, they control you. They don't even need to be present. Just the thought of them, the memory of what they did, and your tranquility vanishes. They pull your strings. They dictate your emotional state. They have power over you. But what if they didn't? What if you could witness their actions without being disturbed? What if you could remain sovereign over your own inner world, regardless of what anyone else does? Then no one would be your master. You would be truly free. This isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about recognizing that your peace is too valuable to place in anyone else's hands. That your emotional freedom is more important than punishing others with your anger or proving a point. Seneca, who wrote extensively about anger, offers practical wisdom. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Anger wants to act immediately. It wants to strike back, to speak harshly, to respond in kind. It feels urgent, compelling, impossible to resist. But this urgency is false. It's the anger itself, trying to preserve itself, trying to justify itself through action. What if you simply waited? What if, when anger rises, you paused? You don't have to act on it right now. You can breathe. You can step away. You can let the heat cool even just a little. And here's what happens when you delay. The anger begins to subside. Your rational mind returns. You see the situation more clearly. And often, you realize that the angry response you were about to make would have caused more harm than good. The delay saves you. It protects you from your own reactivity. Seneca continues this thread. Anger, if not restrained, is more hurtful to us than the injury that provoked it. The original injury is done. It's in the past. But anger keeps it alive. Anger replays it. Anger amplifies it. Anger turns a single wound into a chronic condition. And in doing so, anger hurts you far more than anyone else hurt you. The person who wronged you has moved on with their day. But you're still burning. You're still suffering. You're still carrying the poison. And the poison isn't hurting them. It's hurting you. This is what Seneca wants you to see. That holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. The anger you nurture, the resentment you feed, these things damage you. They steal your peace, your joy, your ability to be present. And they don't serve justice. They just serve suffering. Seneca warns us further. Ungoverned anger begets madness. Anger that's allowed to run free, that's justified and rehearsed and amplified, doesn't stay contained. It grows. It distorts. It begins to see enemies everywhere. It interprets everything as an offense. It loses touch with proportion, with reason, with reality itself. You've perhaps seen this in others, or even in yourself. How anger can take over. How it can make someone unrecognizable. How it can lead to actions that seem insane in retrospect. This is what ungoverned anger does. It doesn't serve you. It possesses you. But governed anger, anger that's recognized and questioned and allowed to cool, this can transform into something wiser. Into discernment. Into healthy boundaries. Into constructive action. The key is the governing, the mastery, the refusal to let this powerful emotion run unchecked. Seneca offers another profound insight. All cruelty springs from weakness. When people lash out, when they act with cruelty, it's not because they're strong. It's because they're afraid. Because they feel powerless. Because they're in pain they don't know how to handle. Cruelty is always a defense mechanism, a way of avoiding one's own vulnerability. Understanding this can change everything. When someone is cruel to you, you can see it for what it is. Not a statement about your worth, but a statement about their struggle. Not an accurate assessment of you, but a desperate attempt to manage their own inner turmoil. And when you're tempted toward cruelty yourself, you can recognize it as a sign that you're feeling weak, vulnerable, scared. And instead of acting on that impulse, you can address the underlying feeling. You can find your strength not in hurting others, but in facing your own pain with courage. Seneca is clear about what we must do with anger. We shouldn't control anger, but destroy it entirely. This might sound extreme, but consider what he means. Controlled anger is still anger, held in check but smoldering beneath the surface. It's still poisoning you slowly. It's still ready to flare up. It's still distorting your perception. But anger that's truly let go, that's examined and understood and released, this liberates you completely. This isn't about pretending you weren't hurt or that injustice doesn't matter. It's about responding to hurt and injustice from a place of wisdom rather than reactivity. From strength rather than weakness. From clarity rather than confusion. You can seek justice without anger. You can protect yourself without rage. You can address wrongdoing without hatred. And in doing so, you remain free. Anger destroyed, peace restored. Epictetus brings us to the heart of freedom. No man is free who is not master of himself. You might have all the external freedom in the world. No one controlling you. No restrictions on your choices. But if your emotions control you, if your impulses rule you, if you're at the mercy of every passing feeling, you're not truly free. You're enslaved to your own internal chaos. But the person who has mastery over themselves, even if they're constrained by external circumstances, they're truly free. Because freedom isn't ultimately about your circumstances. It's about your relationship with yourself. It's about whether you're running your life, or your passions and reactions are running you. This is the freedom worth seeking. Not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to choose your response. The freedom to remain calm in chaos. The freedom to act from wisdom rather than react from emotion. Zeno, who founded Stoicism, understood this as the ultimate conquest. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. The world is vast and uncontrollable. You can spend your whole life trying to bend it to your will and exhaust yourself completely. But the one domain where victory is possible, where mastery is achievable, is within yourself. When you conquer your own reactivity, your own destructive patterns, your own enslaving emotions, something remarkable happens. The world doesn't need to change for you to be at peace. Circumstances don't need to be perfect for you to be content. Other people don't need to behave a certain way for you to remain centered. You've conquered the only territory that matters. And from that place of inner mastery, you can engage with the world powerfully, wisely, effectively. Not from desperation or anger, but from strength and clarity. We close this reflection with Marcus Aurelius's vision of mental health. People of strong mental health can handle anger, grief, joy, and all emotions with balance. Notice he doesn't say people of strong mental health don't experience these emotions. They're not above feeling. They're not disconnected or cold. They feel everything, fully, deeply. But they can handle what they feel. They're not overwhelmed by joy or destroyed by grief or controlled by anger. They experience the full spectrum of human emotion, but they remain themselves throughout. Grounded, steady, present. This is the goal, not to stop feeling, but to feel without being overtaken. To let emotions move through you like weather, acknowledging them, learning from them, but not letting them define you or dictate your actions. To remain the master of your own heart. And in that mastery, there is such peace, such freedom, such quiet strength. Let yourself rest in this possibility now. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have complete mastery tonight. Just know that it's possible. That with practice, with patience, with gentle self-awareness, you can become more free, more peaceful, more yourself. Let any anger you're holding begin to soften. Let any turbulent emotions settle. You are safe here. You are in control of this inner space. And in this moment, you can choose peace. You can choose calm. You can choose to rest. Breathe deeply. Let go. And drift softly into the quiet that waits for you. We come now to one of the most beautiful paradoxes the Stoics discovered. That difficulty is not the enemy of a good life, but often its most important teacher. That obstacles are not barriers to growth, but the very means by which we grow. Let these truths settle into you gently as we explore them together. Marcus Aurelius gives us 3 simple words that contain an entire philosophy. The obstacle is the way, not around it, not despite it, not once you get past it. The obstacle itself is the way forward. The very thing blocking your path is actually the path. This seems impossible at first. How can the problem be the solution? How can the barrier be the breakthrough? But look closely at your own life. Haven't your greatest moments of growth come through difficulty? Haven't your strengths been forged in challenge? Haven't you discovered who you really are only when tested? The obstacle strips away what's superficial. It demands that you dig deeper, try harder, become more than you were. It reveals capacities you didn't know you had. It teaches lessons that comfort never could. The obstacle is the way, not because it's pleasant, but because it's transformative. And so when you face difficulty, you might ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this making me stronger? What way forward is this revealing? The obstacle isn't stopping you. It's showing you the way you need to grow. Seneca understood this deeply. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Your body grows stronger only through resistance. The muscle must be challenged, stressed, pushed beyond what's comfortable. There's no other way to build strength. And your mind is no different. Easy times don't strengthen you. They're pleasant, and they're necessary for rest and recovery, but they don't build capacity. It's the difficulties, the challenges, the moments when you must reach for resources you're not sure you have. These are what make you stronger, wiser, more capable. Every difficulty you've survived has strengthened you. Every challenge you've met has expanded your capacity. You are more resilient than you think, precisely because of everything you've already been through. And what you're facing now, This too is strengthening you, even if you can't feel it yet. Seneca offers another powerful image. Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. Gold must pass through fire to prove its purity. The heat doesn't diminish it. It reveals what was always true, separates what's real from what's dross. And suffering works the same way in human character. When things are easy, everyone appears strong. Everyone seems brave. Everyone feels capable. But adversity reveals what's truly there. It tests your courage, your integrity, your resilience. And if you meet it with wisdom, if you don't let it break you but let it shape you, you emerge purified, proven, more authentically yourself. You are being tested by life. Not punished. Tested. And every time you face difficulty with courage, you prove your quality. You become more truly gold. Seneca offers a surprising perspective. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity. This seems backwards. Wouldn't a life without problems be the happiest life? But Seneca understood something profound. A life without adversity is a life without growth, without depth, without real strength or wisdom or character. The person who never faces difficulty remains perpetually fragile. They never learn what they're capable of. They never develop resilience. They live in constant fear of the challenge that might come. And when difficulty inevitably arrives, as it does for everyone, they're completely unprepared. But the person who has walked through fire, who has faced adversity and survived, they know their own strength. They have confidence born of experience. They don't fear difficulty because they've learned they can handle it. This is a deeper happiness, more solid and lasting than the fragile comfort of an untested life. Seneca acknowledges the weight of existence itself. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. There are times when just continuing, just getting through the day, just holding on, this is heroic. Not every act of courage is dramatic. Sometimes courage is quiet. Sometimes it's simply not giving up. Sometimes it's choosing to face another day when everything in you wants to stop. If you're in such a time now, know this. Your continuing is courageous. Your persistence matters. You are being brave in the way that counts most, not through grand gestures, but through quiet endurance. Through choosing life, again and again, even when it's hard. This is strength. This is courage. And it's enough. Epictetus reminds us that difficulty reveals truth. The true man is revealed in difficult times. Anyone can be kind when it costs nothing. Anyone can be patient when everything goes their way. Anyone can maintain their principles when there's no pressure to compromise them. But difficult times show who you really are. When you're tested, when you're under pressure, when everything is hard, the mask comes off. Your true character emerges. And this is valuable information. Not to judge yourself harshly, but to see clearly. To know where you're strong and where you need to grow. To understand yourself more deeply. And here's the beautiful part. Each difficult time is another opportunity. Another chance to show yourself who you want to be. Another chance to choose courage over fear, kindness over cruelty, integrity over expedience. You're constantly being revealed, and you're constantly choosing what to reveal. Marcus Aurelius offers us an image of steadfastness. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break. The waves come, one after another, relentless, powerful, trying to erode the cliff, to break it down, to overwhelm it. But the cliff stands. It doesn't fight the waves. It doesn't rage against them. It simply remains itself, solid, grounded, unmoved. And eventually, the waves calm. They always do. But the cliff is still there. This is how to meet adversity. Not by trying to stop it, control it, or eliminate it, but by being so grounded in yourself, so solid in your center, that you can let the difficulties crash against you without being swept away. You remain. You endure. And when the storm passes, you're still standing. Marcus continues this teaching. Just as nature takes every obstacle and works around it, turns it, adapts to it, transforms it into something useful. Watch a tree grow. If something blocks its path upward, it grows around it. If one branch breaks, it strengthens another. If conditions are harsh, it grows slowly but surely. Nature doesn't complain about obstacles. It incorporates them. It adapts. It finds a way. You have this same capacity. When your path is blocked, you can find another way. When your plans fail, you can make new plans. When circumstances change, you can change with them. Not by abandoning who you are, but by being flexible in how you express it. By being creative in how you move forward. The obstacle doesn't end your journey. It just makes the path more interesting. And often, the detour leads you somewhere better than you originally planned. Zeno reminds us of patience and process. Well-being is realized by small steps. You don't have to overcome every obstacle today. You don't have to transform completely right now. You just have to take one small step, and then another, and another. Small steps, consistently taken, carry you across any distance. This is so important when facing adversity. The mountain seems impossibly high when you look at the summit. But you don't climb a mountain all at once. You take one step, then the next. And eventually, you're at the top, looking back at what you've accomplished. Whatever you're facing, just focus on the next small step. Not the whole journey. Not the entire problem. Just the one thing you can do right now. And then the next one thing. This is how impossible things become possible. This is how adversity is overcome. We close with Seneca's wisdom about fortune. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Adversity is often preparation in disguise. It's teaching you, strengthening you, preparing you for opportunities you can't yet see. When you face difficulty with wisdom, when you learn from it rather than just endure it, you're preparing yourself. And then one day, an opportunity appears. And because of everything you learned in hard times, because of the strength you built through adversity, you're ready for it. What looks like luck to others is actually the fruit of your preparation. The result of challenges met and lessons learned. So don't waste your adversity. Let it prepare you. Let it strengthen you. Let it teach you. Because your luck, your opportunities, your breakthroughs, these are coming. And when they do, you'll be ready. The obstacle you're facing now is preparing you for the opening that's waiting ahead. Rest now in this knowledge. Your difficulties are not meaningless. They're not punishment. They're shaping you, teaching you, preparing you. You are becoming stronger, wiser, more capable with every challenge you face. You are enough. You are doing enough. You are growing, even when you can't see it. Especially when you can't see it. Let yourself rest now. Let go of the struggle, just for tonight. The obstacles will still be there tomorrow, and you'll meet them again with fresh strength. But for now, just rest. Just breathe. Just be. You've earned this peace. Settle into it softly, and let sleep come. Rest now in this knowledge. Your difficulties are not meaningless. They're not punishment. They're shaping you, teaching you, preparing you. You are becoming stronger, wiser, more capable with every challenge you face. We turn now to perhaps the most sobering truth, and yet, paradoxically, the most liberating. The truth about time. About mortality. About the preciousness of each moment we're given. The Stoics meditated often on death, not to become morbid, but to become truly alive. Let's explore this gentle wisdom together. Seneca begins with a counterintuitive truth. Life is long if you know how to use it. We so often hear that life is short. And in one sense, it is. The years pass quickly. Before we know it, decades have gone by. But Seneca invites us to see it differently. Life is actually long. You have been given so many days, so many hours, so much time. The question is not whether you have enough time. The question is whether you're using the time you have. Are you filling your days with what matters? Or are you letting them slip away on things that don't nourish you, don't fulfill you, don't reflect what you truly value? If you use your time well, if you're present for it, if you spend it on what's meaningful, then life is gloriously long. More than enough. A generous gift. The shortness we feel often comes not from lack of time, but from how we've used the time we've been given. Seneca makes this point more directly. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Think about your own days. How much time vanishes into distraction? Into worry about things that never happen? Into activities you don't really care about? Into trying to please people who don't matter to you? Into putting off what's truly important? We waste time as if we have an infinite supply. We act as if there will always be tomorrow, always another chance, always more time later. But this is the great illusion. The time we waste is gone forever. It's not coming back. And one day, we'll run out. Seneca isn't trying to make you anxious. He's trying to wake you up. To help you see the value of what you have right now. To encourage you to stop wasting this precious, limited resource on things that don't matter. Zeno understood this urgency. No loss should be more regrettable to us than losing our time. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose possessions and replace them. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But time, once gone, is irretrievable. Every moment that passes is a moment you'll never have again. Every day that ends is one fewer day you have to live. This isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to help you treasure what you have. To make you more careful about how you spend your hours. To encourage you to choose wisely, because the stakes are so high. You're not spending money. You're spending your life. Seneca observes a strange human tendency. People are frugal in guarding property, but waste time. We're so careful with our money. We budget. We save. We think carefully before spending. We guard our possessions. We protect our property. But time? We throw it away. We let anyone take it. We spend it thoughtlessly on whatever crosses our path. Why this double standard? Perhaps because we can see money disappear. We can count it. But time seems invisible, infinite, always there. Until suddenly it isn't. What if you were as careful with your time as you are with your money? What if you asked, before doing anything, is this worth spending my life on? What if you guarded your hours as jealously as you guard your wallet? How differently might you live? Seneca offers us a beautiful practice. Begin at once to live, and count each day as a separate life. Don't wait to begin living. Not until you're successful. Not until you're ready. Not until conditions are perfect. Begin now. This day, this moment, this is your life. Live it. And treat each day as complete in itself. Each day is a birth and a death. A whole lifetime in miniature. What did you do with this life, this day? Did you live it well? Did you live it at all? Or did you put it off, telling yourself you'd really live tomorrow? Tomorrow is not guaranteed. This day is what you have. This day is your life. Count it as such. Honor it as such. Live it as such. Marcus Aurelius brings us face to face with reality. You could leave life right now. Right now. In this very moment. Your life could end. Not eventually. Not someday far off. Now. This is not pessimism. This is truth. We are all living on borrowed time. We are all temporary. We are all mortal. And understanding this, really feeling it, changes everything. What becomes important? What falls away as trivial? What do you want to make sure you do, say, experience, if this moment could be your last? Marcus isn't trying to scare you. He's trying to liberate you. To help you see what really matters. To encourage you to live now, with full awareness that now is all you're guaranteed. Seneca suggests a powerful mental exercise. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Imagine you're at the end. Looking back. What do you wish you'd done? What do you wish you'd said? What do you wish you'd paid attention to? What do you wish you'd let go of? From the end of life, so much of what we stress about seems silly. So much of what we postpone seems tragic. The perspective of mortality clarifies everything. It shows us what's real and what's illusion. What matters and what doesn't. But here's the gift. You don't have to wait until the end to have this clarity. You can bring this perspective into your life now. You can live as if you truly understand your mortality. And in doing so, you'll live more wisely, more fully, more truly. Seneca takes this further. Suppose a god announced that you were going to die tomorrow. Would you spend today the same way you'd planned? Would you go to that meeting that doesn't matter? Would you have that argument? Would you waste time on social media? Would you put off telling someone you love them? Would you postpone that thing you've been meaning to do? Or would you suddenly see clearly what's important? Would you reach out to people you care about? Would you do the things that matter to you? Would you be present, really present, for this one precious day you have left? But here's the truth. You don't know that you won't die tomorrow. None of us do. So why not live today as if it matters? As if it's precious? As if it could be your last chance to be who you want to be? Marcus Aurelius gently confronts our tendency to delay. Remember how long you've been putting this off. That thing you know you should do. That change you know you need to make. That person you've been meaning to contact. That dream you've been postponing. That fear you've been avoiding. That conversation you've been delaying. How long have you been putting it off? Weeks? Months? Years? And what makes you think you'll have time later? What makes you think tomorrow will be easier? What makes you think there will always be another chance? Marcus isn't scolding. He's reminding. Life is passing while you wait. You're using up your finite time in postponement. And one day, you'll run out of time, and the thing will remain undone. Not because it was impossible, but because you kept waiting. Do it now. Whatever it is. Or consciously choose not to do it and release the burden of pretending you will. But don't let it hang over you forever, stealing your peace, a permanent postponement that never gets resolved. We close with a fundamental Stoic truth. Remember that all we have is what we do right now. The past is gone. It exists only in memory. You can't change it or relive it or get it back. The future doesn't exist yet. It's imagination, possibility, uncertainty. You have no access to it. It may never come. All you have is now. This moment. This breath. This choice. This is where your life actually exists. This is where your power lives. This is where you can act, feel, experience, be. And if now is all you have, then now is enough. You don't need more time. You need to be more present for the time you have. You need to live this moment fully, rather than spending it somewhere else in your mind. Your life is not ahead of you or behind you. It's here, right here, and it's waiting for you to show up for it, to meet it, to live it. So let go of the regrets about the past. Let go of the worries about the future. Come back to now, to this breath, to this moment of rest, to this gentle awareness that you're alive, right now, and that's everything. Your time is precious. Your life is precious. You are precious. Don't waste yourself on what doesn't matter. Don't postpone what does. Live now. Be here now. This is your life, happening now. Rest in this truth. Let it settle you. Not with anxiety about time passing, but with peace about time being used well. This moment of rest, this choice to take care of yourself, to listen to these words, to prepare for sleep, this is time well spent. This is life being lived. Let yourself drift now. Let go of urgency. Let go of all the things you think you should be doing. Right now, you're doing exactly what you need to do. Resting, breathing, being, and that's enough. Sleep well, knowing you've used this time wisely. And tomorrow, you'll have another chance. Another day. Another life to live well. We arrive now at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Not theory, but practice. Not thinking about virtue, but being virtuous. Not wondering who you should be, but becoming that person. Let these words guide you gently toward the life you want to live. Marcus Aurelius cuts through all complexity with startling directness. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. How much time do we spend talking about values? Discussing principles? Debating what's right? Planning who we want to become? And all the while, life is passing. All the while, we could simply be doing it. You already know, deep down, what kind of person you want to be. You know what goodness looks like. You know what integrity requires. You know how you wish you'd acted in situations where you fell short. So stop debating. Stop planning. Stop waiting until you have it all figured out. Just be that person. Right now. In this next choice. In this next moment. In this next interaction. You become good not by thinking about it endlessly, but by doing good things. Character is built in action, not in contemplation. Marcus continues with equal clarity. If it is not right, do not do it. So simple. So clear. And yet, how often do we complicate this? We make exceptions. We justify. We rationalize. We say it's not really that wrong, or everyone else does it, or just this once, or no one will know. But Marcus draws a bright line. If it's not right, don't do it. Period. No exceptions. No complicated reasoning. You know what's right. Your conscience knows. And if something isn't right, that's the end of the question. Don't do it. This is freedom. Not freedom to do whatever you want, but freedom from the exhausting mental gymnastics of trying to justify what you know isn't right. Freedom from guilt and regret. Freedom from the erosion of your own integrity. Just don't do what isn't right. Simple as that. Epictetus gives us a two-step process for transformation. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do it. Name it clearly. Who do you want to be? Not in vague terms, but specifically. Honest, kind, courageous, patient, disciplined. Whatever it is, name it. Say it to yourself. Make it clear. And then, do it. Not eventually. Not when you feel ready. Now. In the next opportunity. In the next moment that calls for that quality. Don't wait to feel like that person. Act like that person, and you'll become that person. This is how transformation happens. Not through wishing or hoping or waiting for some magical change, but through clear intention followed by consistent action. Say what you would be. Then be it. Epictetus emphasizes the importance of embodiment. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Your words mean nothing if your life doesn't reflect them. You can talk about kindness all day, but if you're cruel to the people around you, you're not kind. You can espouse wisdom, but if you act foolishly, you're not wise. You can claim to value something, but if you don't live it, you don't truly value it. Philosophy isn't about having the right opinions or saying the right things. It's about how you live. Who you are when no one's watching. What you do when it's difficult. How you treat people when you're tired or stressed or angry. Let your life be your philosophy. Let your actions be your teaching. Let who you are speak louder than what you say. This is integrity. This is authenticity. This is the only philosophy that matters. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of the power of presence. At every hour, give your full concentration to the task at hand. Whatever you're doing, be fully there. If you're working, work. If you're with someone, be with them. If you're resting, rest. Don't split yourself across time. Don't be physically here but mentally somewhere else. This complete presence, this full attention, this is how you honor life. This is how you do things well. This is how you become excellent at whatever you do. Not through divided attention, but through wholehearted engagement with the moment in front of you. And notice how this applies to rest too. Right now, you're resting. So rest fully. Don't half rest while part of you worries about tomorrow. Give your full concentration to this task of resting, of breathing, of letting go. This deserves your complete attention too. Marcus speaks to the importance of self-reliance. A man must stand erect, not be kept erect by others. Your integrity, your character, your values, these must be self-supporting. They can't depend on other people approving of you. They can't require external validation. They can't need someone else to prop you up. You must know who you are and stand in that, regardless of whether anyone else affirms it. You must do what's right because it's right, not because others are watching. You must be true to yourself because that's who you are, not because someone else is keeping you accountable. This is maturity. This is strength. Standing erect on your own. Needing no one to tell you who to be, or what to value, or how to live. You know. And you stand on that knowledge, firmly, independently, with quiet confidence. Epictetus reminds us of patience. No great thing is created suddenly. The person you want to become, you won't become overnight. Character is built slowly. Habits form gradually. Wisdom accumulates over time. Virtue deepens through practice. This is actually a relief. You don't have to transform completely today. You don't have to be perfect right now. You're in process. You're growing. Each small choice, each moment of integrity, each time you act in alignment with your values, you're building something. Be patient with yourself. Be consistent. Keep choosing wisely. Keep acting with integrity. Keep moving in the right direction. And over time, you'll look back and see how far you've come. The great thing you're creating, your own character, is forming slowly but surely. Epictetus speaks to the power of learning. Only the educated are free. Not educated in the sense of credentials or degrees, but educated in wisdom, in understanding yourself, in knowing what matters and what doesn't, in seeing clearly how things work, inside you and in the world around you. Ignorance is slavery. When you don't understand yourself, your reactions control you. When you don't understand how emotions work, they rule you. When you don't understand what's in your control and what isn't, you exhaust yourself trying to control everything. But education, true education, liberates you. Understanding gives you choice. Wisdom gives you freedom. You're no longer at the mercy of your own ignorance. You see clearly, and in that clarity, you can choose wisely. This is the freedom that matters most. Socrates, who deeply influenced the Stoics, offers us this wisdom. Make yourself all that you wish to be thought. Don't worry about your reputation. Don't try to manage what people think of you. Don't waste energy on your image or your brand or how you appear. Just be what you want to be thought. Want to be thought honest? Be honest. Want to be thought kind? Be kind. Want to be thought wise? Cultivate wisdom. Your actual qualities will shine through. And if they don't, if people misjudge you, so what? You know who you are. That's enough. This is such a freeing way to live. Not performing virtue, but being virtuous. Not managing perceptions, but simply becoming who you truly want to be. The rest takes care of itself. We close with Seneca's affirmation. Virtue alone is lofty and sublime. Not wealth, not fame, not power, not accomplishments. These things are neutral. They can be used well or poorly. They can be taken away. They don't make you better or worse as a person. But virtue, your character, who you choose to be, this is what's truly elevated. This is what's genuinely admirable. This is what can't be taken from you. This is what makes life beautiful and meaningful. A virtuous person of humble means is loftier than a corrupt person of great wealth. A person of integrity and obscurity is more sublime than a famous person without character. Virtue is the only thing that truly elevates the human soul. And the beautiful truth is, virtue is available to everyone, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your past, regardless of your limitations. You can choose, right now, to be virtuous, to be kind, to be honest, to be courageous, to be wise. This choice is your power. This is your dignity. This is your greatness, waiting to be claimed. Rest now in the knowledge that you're on a path. You're becoming. You don't have to be perfect, but you can be intentional. You can choose, again and again, who you want to be. And those choices, accumulated over time, become your character. Become your life. You're doing well. You're trying. You're growing. That's enough. That's everything. Let yourself rest now. Let go of any pressure to be more than you are. Just be yourself, gently evolving, slowly becoming, patiently transforming. Sleep peacefully, and tomorrow, you'll have another chance to be the person you wish to be. We turn now to the quiet wisdom of living simply, relating deeply, and finding peace in what we already have. The Stoics understood that true wealth and genuine connection come not from accumulation or complexity, but from clarity about what matters. Let's explore this together. Epictetus offers us a revolutionary definition of wealth. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but few wants. The world tells you that wealth means having more. More money, more things, more status, more of everything. And so you chase, you accumulate, you strive. And somehow, no matter how much you have, it never feels like enough. You always want more. But Epictetus reveals the secret. True wealth isn't measured by what you have. It's measured by the gap between what you have and what you want. And you can close that gap in two ways. By getting more, or by wanting less. Wanting less is the path to immediate wealth. Right now, if you could release your attachment to things you don't have, if you could appreciate what you do have, you'd be rich. Not eventually. Not after you acquire more. Right now. This is freedom. This is peace. Not needing more to be content. Not requiring external circumstances to change. Just recognizing that you already have enough. Seneca makes this point beautifully. It is not the man who has too little, but who craves more, that is poor. Poverty isn't about your circumstances. It's about your mind. A person with little who wants nothing is wealthy. A person with much who craves more is impoverished. The craving is the poverty. The constant sense of lack. The endless hunger for more. And this poverty can't be cured by acquiring more, because the craving just adjusts. You get what you wanted, and immediately want something else. The goalpost moves. The sense of lack remains. You're still poor, no matter how much you have. But the moment you stop craving more, the moment you accept what is, you're wealthy beyond measure. Not because your circumstances changed, but because your relationship to them changed. This is the only wealth that satisfies. Seneca continues this teaching. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We think we need so much. We think we can't live without countless things that fill our lives. But try going without something you think you need. Often, you discover you don't actually need it. You're fine without it. Maybe better than fine. Maybe freer. This is powerful knowledge. Every unnecessary thing you identify is a weight lifted. Every false need you release is a simplification of your life. Every attachment you let go is one less source of anxiety and complication. The simple life isn't about deprivation. It's about freedom. Freedom from maintaining, organizing, worrying about, and being burdened by things you don't actually need. It's about discovering that you're fine, that you're enough, with so much less than you thought. Seneca warns about spreading ourselves too thin. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. In our connected world, it's possible to be everywhere at once. Checking messages from multiple people. Following countless accounts. Engaged in numerous projects. Present in many places, virtually if not physically. But this is an illusion of presence. When you're everywhere, you're actually nowhere. You're not fully present anywhere. You're scattered, fragmented, split into so many pieces that none of them are really you. You're skimming the surface of everything and experiencing the depth of nothing. To be somewhere, really somewhere, you must choose. You must focus. You must let other places go and be fully here. This is true of physical presence, but also of mental and emotional presence. Choose where you want to be, and be there completely. This is how you actually live. Seneca reminds us of a beautiful truth about human connection. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Every person you encounter is an opportunity, not to get something, not to accomplish something, but to give something, to offer kindness, to see them, to treat them with dignity, to make their day a little lighter. This transforms how you move through the world. You're not just going about your business, tolerating the people in your way. You're encountering opportunities, chances to be kind, moments to make a difference in someone's life, even small. And here's the secret: being kind to others nourishes you. It connects you to your own humanity. It reminds you that you're part of something larger. It fills you with meaning and warmth. Kindness given is kindness received. Seneca offers guidance on choosing relationships wisely. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. You become like the people you spend time with. Their attitudes seep into you. Their habits influence you. Their way of seeing the world shapes your own. This isn't weakness. It's human nature. We're social creatures. We absorb what surrounds us. So choose carefully. Spend time with people who inspire you to be better, who bring out your strength, not your weakness, who encourage your growth, not your stagnation, who see the best in you and call it forth. This isn't about being elitist or abandoning people who struggle. It's about recognizing that your character is forming through your associations. And if you want to become virtuous, wise, and strong, spend time with people who embody those qualities. Epictetus says it more directly. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you. Life is too short and too precious to spend it with people who bring you down, who criticize and diminish you, who feed your worst impulses, who make you smaller rather than larger, who drain your energy rather than replenish it. You don't have to be unkind to them. You don't have to denounce them. But you also don't have to give them your time and presence. You can choose to keep company with people who uplift you, who make you want to be better, who see your potential and support your growth. This is not selfishness. This is self-care. This is protecting the most important relationship you have, the one with your own developing character. Surround yourself with uplift, and you'll rise. Seneca reveals something profound about trust and friendship. Regard a friend as loyal, and you will make him loyal. How you see people influences who they become in relationship to you. If you approach someone with suspicion, they become guarded. If you expect betrayal, you often receive it. Your expectations shape the reality. But if you regard someone as loyal, if you trust them, if you see the best in them, something beautiful happens. They often rise to meet your trust. They become more loyal because you've seen loyalty in them. They become worthy of your trust because you've given it. This is risky, of course. Not everyone will honor your trust. But the alternative, constant suspicion, guaranteed distance, walls that keep both harm and love out, this is not a way to live. Choose to see the best in people. More often than not, you'll find it. Seneca celebrates the joy of connection. Nothing delights the mind as much as loving friendship. Not pleasure, not achievement, not acquisition. The deepest delight comes from connection, from friendship, from love given and received, from knowing and being known, from having people in your life who see you, accept you, care for you. This is what we're made for. This is what nourishes the soul. Not things, not status, not solitary success, but the warmth of genuine human connection, the comfort of knowing you're not alone, the joy of sharing your life with people who matter. Invest in this. Prioritize this. Let your relationships be the center of your life, not an afterthought, because nothing else will bring you the deep satisfaction that loving friendship brings. Marcus Aurelius offers a word of caution. There's nothing worse than a wolf befriending sheep. Not everyone has good intentions. Not everyone wants what's best for you. Some people will present themselves as friends while actually seeking to exploit, manipulate, or harm. The wolf in sheep's clothing. This isn't about becoming cynical or suspicious of everyone, but it is about discernment, about paying attention to actions, not just words, about noticing when someone says they care about you but consistently acts in ways that harm you. Protect yourself. You can be open-hearted without being naive. You can be trusting without being foolish. You can believe in people's potential while still protecting yourself from those who would take advantage of that belief. Wisdom includes knowing the difference between a genuine friend and a wolf, between someone who wants to walk with you and someone who wants to prey on you. Trust your instincts. They're often right. Rest now in the simplicity of this moment. You don't need more to be complete. You don't need to be everywhere. You just need to be here, present, breathing, at peace. The people who matter know you care. The life you want is built one simple choice at a time. Let go of complexity. Let go of craving. Let go of the exhausting effort to have it all, be everywhere, impress everyone. Just be yourself. Just be here. Just be at peace. You are enough. You have enough. This moment is enough. Rest in that truth. Let it fill you with quiet contentment. Let it soften you into sleep. Tomorrow, you can choose simplicity again. You can offer kindness again. You can nurture your true friendships again. But for now, just rest. Just be. Just let go. Sleep peacefully, knowing you're exactly where you need to be. We arrive now at the final wisdom, the deepest teaching, the ultimate peace. It is about acceptance, about flowing with nature, about finding perfect calm even in an imperfect world. Let these last reflections settle into your soul like gentle rain. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, gave us this foundation. The goal of life is living in agreement with nature, not fighting against how things are, not insisting the universe conform to your preferences, not exhausting yourself trying to make reality different than it is, but accepting the fundamental nature of existence and living in harmony with it. What is nature? It is change. It is impermanence. It is cycles of growth and decay. It is forces beyond your control. It is the interconnection of all things. It is mortality and limitation and the vast mystery of being. To live in agreement with nature is to accept these truths, to stop resisting the fundamental conditions of existence, to work with reality rather than against it, to bend like a reed in the wind rather than breaking like rigid wood. This is wisdom. This is peace. Marcus Aurelius shows us what this acceptance looks like. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love them. Not just tolerate them. Not just resign yourself to them, but love them. Embrace them. See them as yours, given to you for a reason, even if you can't understand the reason. Your circumstances, your body, your family, your era, your challenges. These are yours. They're not mistakes. They're not punishments. They're the conditions within which your life unfolds. And you can spend your life wishing they were different, or you can accept them and even love them, finding meaning and beauty within exactly what is. This is radical acceptance. This is profound love. Not for some ideal life you don't have, but for the actual life you're living. Right here. Right now. In all its imperfect reality. Epictetus teaches us to release our grip on outcomes. Don't hope events turn out as you wish, but wish them to turn out as they do, and you will go on well. This is perhaps the hardest wisdom to embrace. We all have hopes. We all have preferences. We all want things to go a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with wanting, with hoping, with working toward what you desire. But attachment to outcomes is suffering. When you need things to go your way, when your peace depends on events unfolding as you hope, you're setting yourself up for constant disappointment. Because so much is outside your control. So much will not go as you wish. But if you can want things to be as they are, if you can wish for reality itself, then you can never be disappointed. Whatever happens, you're at peace. Because you're not fighting it. You're accepting it. You're even, in a way, wanting it, because it's what is. Epictetus says it another way. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will happen. This is alignment with reality. This is the end of struggle. Not passive resignation, but active acceptance. You still act. You still try. You still work toward good outcomes. But you're not attached. You're not demanding. You're not dependent on things going your way. You're free. Free to prefer certain outcomes while accepting whatever comes. Free to work toward goals while being at peace with any result. Free to engage fully with life while remaining inwardly undisturbed by how it unfolds. Marcus Aurelius expresses ultimate trust. Whatever happens at all, happens as it should. This is faith. Not religious faith necessarily, but faith in the order of things. Faith that there's a reason, even when you can't see it. Faith that what happens, even when painful or confusing, is somehow right. Part of a larger pattern. Necessary in some way you don't understand. You don't have to believe this. But what if you did? What if you trusted that whatever happens is what should happen? How would that change your relationship with difficulty, with disappointment, with the unexpected turns your life takes? You might still feel pain. You might still grieve. But underneath, there would be acceptance, trust, peace, the deep knowing that this too is as it should be. That you're exactly where you need to be. That all is well, even when it doesn't feel well. The Stoics understood the nature of negative emotion. A bad feeling is a commotion of the mind against reason. You suffer not because of what happens, but because your mind rebels against it. Because you think it shouldn't be this way. Because you believe it's wrong, unfair, unacceptable. Your mind creates commotion, turmoil, resistance. And that resistance is the suffering. But what if your mind was aligned with reason? What if you saw clearly that things are as they are? That resistance doesn't change reality, only your experience of it. That acceptance brings peace, while rebellion brings suffering. You could still act to change things. You could still work toward better outcomes. but without the commotion, without the inner turmoil, with clarity and calm rather than agitation and distress. This is freedom from unnecessary suffering. Marcus Aurelius offers simple, profound guidance. If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Can you endure this? Then endure it. You're doing it. You're getting through it. The complaining, the mental rebellion, the constant rehearsal of how hard it is, this doesn't make it easier. It makes it harder. It adds suffering to difficulty. Just endure. Just get through it. Not with grim determination, but with acceptance. It is hard. Okay. It is what it is. You can handle it. You are handling it. Let that be enough. The strength isn't in pretending it's easy. The strength is in enduring it without the additional burden of complaining, resenting, fighting reality. Just bear what's yours to bear. Simply, quietly, without making it worse than it already is. Cato the Younger, admired by the Stoics, understood the power of silence. I begin to speak only when I'm certain it isn't better left unsaid. So much of what we say doesn't need to be said. It doesn't help. It doesn't improve things. It doesn't deepen connection. It's just noise. Filling space. Asserting ourselves. Reacting. But silence has its own power. Its own wisdom. Sometimes the best response is no response. Sometimes the most powerful statement is the one you don't make. Sometimes peace is maintained not by speaking your mind, but by keeping it to yourself. This isn't about suppressing truth or avoiding necessary conversations. It's about discernment. About asking, before you speak, is this needed? Will this help? Or is silence the wiser choice? Often, it is. Epictetus reminds us what truly matters. A city is not adorned by external things, but by the virtue of those who dwell in it. The same is true of your life. It's not adorned by what you have, where you live, what you've accomplished, how you appear. It's adorned by who you are, by your character, by your virtue, by the quality of your soul. You can have everything and be empty, or you can have little and be radiant with inner richness. The external things don't ultimately matter. They are neutral. What matters is the person you've become, the virtue you've cultivated, the integrity you've maintained. This is what adorns a life. This is what makes it beautiful. Not the decorations, but the substance. Not the appearance, but the reality. We close with Epictetus's vision of ultimate peace. One can be alone and feel entirely at peace with the world. You don't need external validation. You don't need constant stimulation. You don't need to be surrounded by activity and noise. You can be alone, in silence, in stillness, and feel perfect peace. This is the ultimate freedom. To be enough for yourself. To be comfortable in your own presence. To need nothing from outside to feel complete. Just you, breathing, being, at peace with everything. This is what all the other wisdom has been leading to. This moment. This stillness. This acceptance. This peace. You don't need anything to change. You don't need to be anywhere else. You don't need to become someone different. Right here, right now, in this quiet moment, you can feel entirely at peace with the world. With your life. With yourself. All is well. All has always been well. All will continue to be well, because you are aligned with what is. You are accepting reality. You are flowing with nature. You are at peace. Let this peace deepen now. Let it fill every part of you. Let it soften every tension. Let it quiet every thought. You are safe. You are held. You are exactly where you should be. There is nothing left to do. Nothing left to figure out. Nothing left to become. Just this. Just now. Just peace. Rest. Dear listener. Rest completely. Let these ancient words carry you into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. You have learned. You have reflected. You have grown. And now, you can simply rest. All is well. All is as it should be. And you are at peace. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Good night. We arrive at our final moments together. A gentle closing. A return to where we began. The circle completes itself, and you are invited to rest in the stillness that has been here all along, waiting for you. Let these last words settle like whispers in the growing quiet. Seneca offers us the simplest truth about love. If you want to be loved, love. Not complicated. Not mysterious. If you want love in your life, give it. If you want to feel loved, love others. Love is not something you wait to receive. It's something you create by giving it away. And the beautiful secret is this: the love you give nourishes you as much as it nourishes others. Maybe more. When you love, you become loving. When you extend care, you become caring. When you open your heart fills. So don't wait. Don't hold back until someone loves you first. Just love. Love freely. Love generously. Love without counting the cost or measuring the return. And you'll find yourself surrounded by the very thing you've been seeking. Marcus Aurelius shows us the balance of compassion and discipline. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Such wisdom in this. Others are struggling, just as you are. They're doing their best with what they have. They're carrying burdens you can't see. They deserve your tolerance, your patience, your understanding. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Extend grace. But with yourself, be different. Hold yourself to a high standard. Don't make excuses. Don't let yourself off easy. Don't justify your failings while condemning others for theirs. Be strict with yourself. Demand your own excellence. Expect your own integrity. This is the path to peace with others and growth within yourself. Tolerance outward. Discipline inward. Compassion for them. Standards for you. Marcus gives us the most powerful form of justice. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Someone wrongs you. They're cruel, dishonest, selfish, harmful. And you could become like them. You could respond with cruelty, dishonesty, selfishness, harm. You could sink to their level. You could let them pull you down. But the truest victory is to remain yourself. To stay kind when they were cruel. To stay honest when they were deceptive. To stay generous when they were selfish. To refuse to let their wrongdoing corrupt your character. This is revenge of the highest order. Not hurting them, but rising above them. Not becoming what they are, but proving what you are. They cannot diminish you unless you let them. And when you refuse, when you remain noble despite their baseness, you've won completely. Epictetus reminds us to speak with care. First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. So often we speak without really understanding. We use words we haven't thought through. We express opinions we haven't examined. We say things we don't fully mean or haven't fully considered. But wise speech comes from understanding, from knowing what you're saying, from having thought it through, from meaning it deeply. And this takes time, takes reflection, takes the humility to admit when you don't yet understand something well enough to speak about it. Speak less, understand more. And when you do speak, let your words carry weight because they come from genuine understanding. This is how speech becomes powerful, how words become trustworthy, how you become someone worth listening to. Epictetus challenges your complacency. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? You keep putting it off. The life you want to live, the person you want to become, the changes you know you need to make. You tell yourself later. You tell yourself you're not ready. You tell yourself it's not the right time. But when will it be time? When will you be ready? How much of your life will you waste waiting for the perfect moment to begin living the way you know you should? Demand the best for yourself now. Not someday. Now. You deserve it. Your life deserves it. Stop settling. Stop postponing. Stop waiting. Begin now. Today. This moment. This is your time. Marcus Aurelius warns against corruption by success. Make sure you're not made emperor. Keep yourself simple. When you achieve success, when you gain power or status or recognition, there's a danger. You can start to believe you're special. You can start to think you're above others. You can become complicated, inflated, corrupted by your own importance. But Marcus, who was literally emperor, understood the importance of remaining simple, of staying grounded, of not letting external success change who you fundamentally are. Keep yourself simple. Stay humble. Remember you're just a human being, no matter what titles or achievements you acquire. Success doesn't make you better than others. It just gives you more responsibility, more opportunity to serve, more chances to practice virtue on a larger stage. But you, yourself, remain simple. Remain human. Remain humble. Epictetus returns us to the essential truth. No man is free who is not master of himself. We've explored this before, but it bears repeating as we close. Freedom is internal. It's not about your circumstances. It's about your relationship with yourself. About whether you govern your own mind and heart, or whether you're governed by your passions, your fears, your impulses. True freedom is self-mastery. And this is available to you regardless of your external situation. You can be constrained by 1,000 circumstances and still be free inside. Or you can have every external freedom and be enslaved by your own lack of self-control. Choose freedom. Choose mastery over yourself. This is the only freedom that truly matters. The only freedom no one can take away. Marcus Aurelius reminds you of your power. You have power over your mind, not outside events. We return again to this foundational truth, because it's so easy to forget, so easy to fall back into trying to control what you can't control, while neglecting what you can. Your mind is yours. Your thoughts are yours. Your interpretations are yours. Your responses are yours. This is your domain. This is your power. Not power over the world, but power over yourself. Power over how you meet the world. And this power, properly used, is enough. More than enough. It's everything. Because when you have power over your own mind, when you govern your own thoughts, you're truly sovereign. Truly free. Truly at peace. Marcus speaks again of simplicity. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Not much is required. Not the perfect circumstances. Not endless possessions. Not constant achievement. Just a way of thinking that's wise. That's grateful. That's accepting. That's focused on what matters. Happiness is available to you right now. Not because your life is perfect, but because you can think about your life in a way that brings peace. You can focus on what you have rather than what you lack. You can appreciate rather than criticize. You can accept rather than resist. Very little is needed. Maybe just a shift in perspective. Maybe just a different way of seeing. And that shift is entirely within your power. Right now. Always. And we return, finally, to where we began. Marcus Aurelius whispers to us one last time. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. We've come full circle. We began with this wisdom, and we end with it. Because it contains everything. Every morning is a new beginning. Every breath is a gift. Every moment of existence is a miracle you didn't earn and can't guarantee. Tomorrow morning, when you wake, remember this. Before anything else, before worry or planning or rushing into the day, just pause. Just notice. Just feel the wonder of being alive one more day. Of having another chance. Of being here at all. This is where wisdom begins and ends. With gratitude for existence itself. With awe at the simple fact of being. With appreciation for this temporary, precious, extraordinary gift of life. And now, dear listener, we come to rest. We've journeyed together through ancient wisdom. Through perspectives that have endured for centuries because they speak to something eternal in the human experience. These truths have been waiting for you. Have been here all along. And they'll be here tomorrow, and all the days after. But right now, there's nothing left to learn. Nothing left to understand. Nothing left to do. Just rest. Just breathe. Just be. You are enough. You have enough. You know enough. Everything you need is within you. The peace you've been seeking, it's here. It's always been here. It's simply the natural state you return to when you stop fighting, stop grasping, stop resisting. Let go now. Of everything. Of all the day held. Of all tomorrow might bring. Of all the wisdom we've explored. Just let it all settle. Let it all integrate. Let it all dissolve into the quiet. You are held by something larger than yourself. By the great flow of existence. By nature itself. By the same force that moves the stars and changes the seasons and keeps your heart beating without your effort. Trust this. Rest in this. You are part of something vast and beautiful and perfectly ordered. And in this moment, all is exactly as it should be. Your breathing slows. Your body softens. Your mind quiets. The thoughts that were racing begin to settle like snow falling gently to the ground. Each one landing softly. Each one coming to rest. There is nothing to hold on to. Nothing to figure out. Nothing to become. Just this. Just now. Just peace. The Stoics would want you to know this. You have everything you need to live well. To face whatever comes. To remain yourself through all circumstances. To find peace in any condition. Not because life will be easy, but because you are capable. You are resilient. You are enough. And tonight, you can rest in that knowledge. Rest deeply. Rest completely. Rest knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. That your life is unfolding exactly as it should. That all is well, has always been well, will always be well. Breathe. Let go. Sink deeper. The ancient wisdom holds you. The eternal truths support you. The great mystery of existence cradles you in its arms. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Sleep now, dear soul. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Let the stillness take you. Let the silence hold you. Let the darkness be your comfort. All is well. All is well. All is well. Good night.